So you clearly saw the title in the thumbnail and you still decided it was a good idea to click this video? Well, I'm giving you another warning and this is your final. The videos are highly disturbing and they get crazier towards the end.
Creature chased these people's boat, but it was way too fast to be a human. Watch this. Look at how fast it's moving. It's going to zoom in soon, but watch. This thing is swinging its arms so fast, keeping up with the boat. No human should be able to do that. Unless it's not human. You can almost see its eyes glowing. This thing is moving so fast. Let me know what you think it is in the comments. Stay weird.
This is actually insane. A stranger has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after a 3-year-old boy ended up inside of a crocodile enclosure at a zoo. This happened today at Johnson's of Oldhurst, a family-run zoo in Cambridgeshire, England, and they say that the man and the child did not know each other. At approximately 1:24 p.m., emergency services were called after police say that an incident involving the little boy resulted in him ending up inside of the zoo's crocodile enclosure. That child suffered severe injuries and was rushed to Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge. Police have said that the child is critical but stable and specially trained officers are supporting his family at the hospital. A 30-year-old man from Norfolk was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. Again, police say that they don't believe the arrested man and the 3-year-old were known to each other. Several headlines have reported that the child was thrown into the enclosure, but police have not officially confirmed that detail or publicly explained how the little boy ended up there. But again, it is sounding like he was thrown by that stranger into the crocodile enclosure. Detectives are now interviewing visitors and staff who were at the zoo when the incident happened to reconstruct what took place. It's also not been confirmed yet if the child was attacked by one of the crocodiles when he was in there. The name of the arrested man has not been publicly released, and they have also not released a possible motive. Either way, there's no reasonable explanation for doing something like this. This is terrible. Following the incident, the zoo closed its crocodile enclosure and tropical house until further notice. The zoo also released a statement saying that its thoughts and prayers were with the little boy, and his family asked people not to speculate while the investigation remains active.
Teletubbies seems to have a lot darker of a history than we thought. Hagel gang, grab your lip gloss, and let's spiral because it's Freaky Friday. Don't forget to follow for more content like this. Sorry, I'm about to ruin Teletubbies for you. So we've got the 4 giggling baby aliens, rolling hills, a vacuum cleaner with a god complex named Nunu, and a baby son that has caused more childhood trauma than any horror movie has ever. Wholesome, right? Except there's a theory that's been floating around for years that says that these stories' real origin is a lot darker than we wanted to study how toddlers interact with technology. According to this theory, Teletubbies is actually inspired by 4 real children who were locked away in a Bulgarian mental asylum back in the 1990s, when Bulgaria reportedly had some of the highest rate of institutionalized children in all of Europe. The theory claims that each Teletubby represents one of those kids, and supposedly all 4 of them died the exact same way, by swallowing tiny television sets. The story goes that the asylum is taking away the children's only source of comfort, their little TV, so they hid them in the only place they could, inside their stomachs, and that's apparently where the belly screens came from. Now look, I can't officially confirm or deny any of this, okay? No paper trail or definitive source, just a lot of years of hearsay and decades of internet sleuths. Make of that what you will. That's all I have for today. Freaky Friday Fact. Drop a crown emoji if you made it to the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Well, it's official, and it's happening right now. With the expected arrival of President Trump at Madison Square Garden, Midtown Manhattan is completely closed at 34th Street. So if you want to get around Madison Square Garden,
good luck.
Take a look at some of the closures for yourself. And here's a look at the area that's completely closed off to both traffic and pedestrians. Have a look at this video. They actually put a fence up around Madison Square Garden. Take a look at this right here. And the police presence is in full effect, with spectators just lining the gates looking to see what the heck is going on. But as you can see, you can't get anywhere near the garden or inside of it. They're even towing transit vehicles. And this was taken earlier outside the garden. As you could see, they doubled and tripled the security gates. This is the area right here where the players enter to get into MSG. And some players were even stopped, including Josh Hart. Now, everybody knows who Josh Hart is, but he went through the extra security screening as well. You'll see that in a minute. There's the buses right there that bring in the opposing players to the garden. Everything is being searched, from undercarriages to inside to even the luggage to the basketballs. There's Josh Hart right there going through the screening. Have a look for yourself. You can see that that's Josh Hart. Unbelievable, the security for tonight. And in case you didn't believe me, there he is right there with the face of like, what's going on? He knows what's going on. This is insanity. So once again, if you are heading to tonight's game, we suggest you get there now, right now, because you're going to be on lines. You may even miss the tip-off. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
You heard of the Witch's Grave in Ontario?
No, here?
Yes, in Ontario.
Really?
Yo, we can go visit. It's not too far.
Okay.
But it's this tower. It's a really tall grave, and it's completely black. It looks like it's been burned, and it looks weird, and it straight up looks like a witch's grave. So what people have done is they go and visit it, and they try to contact the witch. And people say when they go there, and they try to like talk to it, when they leave, they get cursed. And when they leave, they have bad luck or something terrible happens to them.
Yeah.
Now, the truth is, and the plot twist is that grave wasn't actually a witch's grave.
What was it?
It was just a regular person's grave. But because the energy and how everybody started manifesting or putting that idea that this will be cursed, that this will be a haunted grave. Imagine it's just a regular person's grave. And you're in the afterlife thinking like, yo, they're visiting my grave. They're treating me like this.
Yeah.
I'm with them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
They had like a message in the after, like, oh, they're trying to contact you. What? I'm dead
Yeah,
already.
you pop out and then they're like, oh, she's a witch.
Guys, this is gonna sound insane, but there is currently a fungus that is spreading from cats to humans that literally eats your skin, and a cat can give it to you just by scratching you. This fungus actually showed up in Brazil back in the 90s, and it lives in a cat's claws, in their saliva, and in any open wounds that they may get. They're saying that you don't even need a scratch from the cat to get it, because they're saying that a sick cat can also sneeze the fungus straight onto you as well. So obviously that's great. Once it gets into your body, it starts as a small bump and then it opens into sores that can travel up your arm or across your face, and in rare cases, it can get into your lungs, your joints, and even the brain. And by the way, they're saying that this version has been more aggressive than the normal one. So that's cool. The only way to get rid of the infection if you get it is to be put on antifungal pills for up to 9 months at a time, and doctors are currently saying that that treatment is starting to fail. This fungus has already spread to Argentina, Paraguay, Chile, and Uruguay, and it just turned up into the UK, and the CDC is saying right now that it's only a matter of time before it's in the US too. 2026. Leave us alone.
We can't catch a break with these things, seriously.
Nicole Kidman's daughter claims her mom is a witch and can turn people into ladders.
My best and
How?
only friend growing up was a ladder, and this is why, I guess. So, as you know, Nicole Kidman was my mom.
That's
raised
weird.
My mom. And growing up, I lived under the floorboards and would only really get to come up usually when I was helping her pick out her wigs. And she had this massive wig closet with multiple stories, and there was this ladder that she would use to get to the top floors. I always had sort of like this weird affinity for the ladder. Like, I always felt like a special connection with it, and I kind of felt like sometimes just felt bad when she would step on it aggressively and whatnot. I didn't really have an explanation for it, so I just kind of in my head decided that he was a friend. So one time I remember we were going in and she was looking for a specific strawberry blonde wig, of course, and I remember hearing something and I was like, that is a human voice. Skip to a couple years later, I find out that my mom has the ability to turn humans into inanimate objects, mostly ladders, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. That is what's happening here with my friend. So I started seeing if I had any abilities, and I started kind of making my own curses and magic and spells, and I was able to turn him back into his human self. But this is from one of the first times that I tried, and I couldn't fully get it. So I took this picture. I thought it was
Stay
really
weird,
fun.
y'all.
And yeah, he became one of my best friends.
They're not telling us everything about those 71 girls found in a tunnel in New York City.
71 girls found. 71 girls found and not a single adult found with them. Let that sink in. In a tunnel under New York. Talking about them girls wandered down there.
there was this YouTuber whose final moments were caught on camera, and it was eventually posted on YouTube for the whole world to see.
What? Yo, what the? Look how fast the water's moving, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Holy
And this is a big one too.
Yo, look at it.
And like eventually his friend does get there.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, I think.
I'd go around a few more times. I'm not sure what to do.
Let me get across here.
We're gonna move faster.
And also one thing too, David was like, I think that's enough. Like that's enough footage. Like I think we're good. But that's when Jacob is like, pass me the GoPro. I'm gonna try to get another shot from underneath.
Oh, now I'm just gonna run out.
And right here is him diving down. And after this, never goes back up. His name was Jacob Cockle, and he was a very, very famous surfer and a very loved person in the UK. He was a nature photographer. Like he was featured by the National Geographic.
Oh, so he was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, he was mostly known for like the pictures that he would take in the sea of him surfing, because like he would be like, I guess you could say like a daredevil in a way.
Like ride the big ass waves and shit.
Ride the big ass waves, takes picture in them, jump over like big ass rocks. Also, what he was mostly known for was his YouTube channel too, which was called Whirlpool Hitman. And on there, he would post videos of him being in whirlpools or him recording just whirlpools, just like him coming across whirlpools. And I know it sounds kind of dumb, like, why would you record yourself or put yourself in like these dangerous scenarios for you to potentially die or whatever? Like
those comments, like, you know what's the craziest thing about this is that it's optional.
Exactly.
You don't have to do that.
The only reason why I feel like he did do it, and I think it was more important to him than we could all know. He had a sister growing up. Her name was Grace, and they were very, very close to each other. And it wasn't until like I think whenever she was like 20 years old, she was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Right?
Fuck.
She eventually fought it off with like some
radiation therapy,
but it came back terminally, which eventually she ended up dying from the cancer. After his sister's death, kind of like flipped a switch in him. I thought her death was kind of cruel and unfair, because why would somebody that did no wrong in their life, very, very young, just die like that without like fulfilling what she was meant to do? So that's when like she was like, you know what, fuck that. I'm gonna live my life to the fullest for her. So that's why
makes sense.
So that's why he would like.
This is day 5 of trying to convince you that Jeffrey Epstein was attempting to perform sex magic rituals using the methods of Aleister Crowley. For those who don't know, Aleister Crowley is probably the most famed occultist of the 20th century. Crowley belonged to a secret society called the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and this society drew from Kabbalah, tarot, alchemy, and ceremonial rituals. Their aim was to harness the power of these traditions and use their rituals to effectuate real-world change. Crowley eventually left the Golden Dawn, but in 1904 he claimed to have received a supernatural message from a non-human entity named Awis. That entity dictated to him what became the Book of the Law, which would go on to become the foundational scripture for Crowley's new religion called Thelema. He then went on to take over a different group called the Ordo Templi Orientis, or the OTO, which he then reshaped around his new religion Thelema and sex magic rituals. One of the most important figures in Crowley's OTO was Jack Parsons, who was a rocket scientist who co-founded what eventually became NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Parsons then pulled in L. Ron Hubbard, the future founder of Scientology, into the operation. From January to March of 1946, Parsons performed a series of rituals called the Babylon Working, with L. Ron Hubbard acting as his scribe. The intention of these rituals was to summon a Thelemic goddess into the material world. And according to Parsons, the ritual actually worked. These people connected Jeffrey Epstein in 2 ways. First, his Zor Ranch home sits about 80 miles away from a building called the Trementina Base, which is where the Church of Scientology stores all of L. Ron Hubbard's foundational writings on titanium plates. The second connection is his book collection. Epstein purchased 2 books in 2007. The first book was The Secrets of Western Tantra by Christopher Hyatt. Christopher Hyatt is a 9th degree initiate of Crowley's OTO, which is the same initiatory rank as Jack Parsons, and the book teaches how intense physical and emotional states like sex can be used to create an outcome by implanting it into the subconscious mind. The second book is Modern Sex Magic by Donald Michael Craig. This book traces the lineage of Kabbalistic sex magic directly from the Temple of Solomon all the way through to Aleister Crowley and then to the present day. Modern sex magic promises to show you how to design your own sex magic rituals. Tomorrow, I will show you how this pattern is much older than Epstein or even Crowley, and how operators like Epstein have been working in the shadows for hundreds of years. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and if you want to check out my full documentary, which has a lot more details, it is available on my YouTube channel.
We are uncovering some major news right now, and this all started with the 71 Orthodox girls who were found in a tunnel in Nyack, New York. Many of the locals in my comment section and DMs are saying that this is not just happening in Nyack, New York, this is happening in all of Rockland County. That there is a community of people who are using money and power to corrupt the local government. They are joining school boards and shutting school districts down. And that perhaps this right here was an illegal transfer of young females. This comment really got me. I live here. They are being brought into town to pretend like they were here and get married off to make their community bigger. This is an ongoing sentiment I am getting in a lot of my DMs as well. I work with young kids of various ages, and I find it hard to believe that 72 girls were able to agree on going into old tunnels. It's hard to get 12 kids to all agree on fun things, let alone 72 in a smelly, dark, old tunnel. People are also saying this is happening in Lakewood, New Jersey. My mom was a teacher in Lakewood, New Jersey, and they took over the school board and closed the school she worked at. Also saying that the community is paying off the local government. Many of you mentioned this all happened and shut down the Ramapo School District. Back in January of 2024, there was a discovery of an illegal tunnel under a synagogue in New York City. It turned into a brawl between some of the community and the police. There ended up being an arrest of 9 different men. City inspectors were called to the Chabad Lubavitch headquarters in Brooklyn on Monday to conduct an emergency structural inspection under concerns that the illegal tunnel could have caused damage to the famous property. A brawl then ensued between police and some men inside the synagogue resisting the effort. They were charged with criminal mischief, reckless endangerment, and obstructing governmental administration. This part right below is very interesting. It says it is unclear who built the tunnel, how they did it, and what their motivations were. It appears that the tunnel connects to at least one other building on this street in Brooklyn. People don't just hang around in tunnels. If we are adding up the bits and pieces of information that we are getting from these really undone news stories, it's very clear that people are being moved around in these tunnels, and that is including young females.
This pedophile committed a crime so disturbing that a petition was created that asked the government to publicly hang him. And the petition gathered thousands of signatures. This is 33-year-old Benjamin Taylor from West Virginia. And in 2016, he would commit one of the most sickening crimes I've ever read about. Back in 2016, Benjamin was living with his girlfriend, a woman named Amanda Adkins. At the time, Amanda had recently given birth only 9 months ago to her baby daughter, Emily. Emily was a beautiful young girl. And I want to warn you all right now, the details that we're about to discuss are some of the most disturbing I've ever covered. So in October of 2016, Benjamin had only been living with his girlfriend Amanda for about a month. And on the morning of Emily's death at around 4:30 a.m., Amanda woke up and went downstairs to search for her baby. When she went downstairs, she saw Benjamin Taylor with his pants unzipped sitting in the dark. Amanda then noticed that her 9-month-old daughter's limp body was lying nearby on a pile of sheets and laundry. Amanda screamed at Benjamin and grabbed her daughter's lifeless body, but he remained silent and stared at the ground. The details of what had just happened down there are disturbing. Local authorities would call this the worst assault that they had seen in decades. You see, Benjamin and Emily were covered in the infant's blood. After the child's body was examined, the authorities were able to determine that she had been assaulted by an adult male multiple times. The infant child was also bleeding extensively and had suffered head trauma. Emily had a fractured skull and brain hemorrhaging. Authorities believe that Emily may have been shaken violently, or even thrown to the ground or slammed against a hard object. When police arrived at the scene, Benjamin Taylor was observed trying to wipe something off of his groin. That was eventually determined to be Emily's blood. He also told authorities that he remembered taking the baby to the basement, but that he blacked out after that. You see, he had been smoking and drinking the night before, and that was his excuse. Thankfully, Benjamin was convicted of all charges and sentenced to life in prison without mercy, as you can see right here. But for some people, that just wasn't enough. And like I said at the beginning of this video, a petition was created which asked the government to publicly hang Benjamin. And this petition, before it was shut down, gathered over 50,000 signatures. I mean, this truly is one of the worst things that I've ever covered here on my TikTok. And personally, I don't think that life in prison is enough for this guy. I mean, the pain that poor Emily went through before she was eventually killed is just heartbreaking on every single level. And I just hope and pray that the other prisoners that are in there with Benjamin find out or already have found out exactly what he did to land himself in there. If you want to hear more true crime stories, listen to the podcast.
18-year-old tourist was killed after a carriage horse bolted through Central Park while the driver was reportedly taking the family's photo. Here's the video of that moment. Romansh Mahajan was visiting New York City from India and riding in a horse-drawn carriage with 3 other passengers Wednesday afternoon. The carriage driver reportedly stepped down to take a picture of the family. Now, according to the union representing carriage workers, drivers are not supposed to leave their position to take passenger photos. The driver was the one that you saw at the beginning yelling and going after the carriage. So while the driver was away, the horse named Samson suddenly became frightened and bolted. The horse began racing through Central Park with some of the passengers still trapped inside of the moving carriage. You saw at the beginning of the video, a couple of them appear to fall out. Near a tavern on the Green, the runaway carriage struck another horse-drawn carriage before overturning. At least 2 passengers were then thrown onto the ground, and Romansh was one of them, and he suffered a severe head injury. He was then rushed to the hospital in critical condition, but police later confirmed that he had died. The other passengers reportedly refused medical treatment. Samson the horse survived the crash and was stabilized, and the carriage company has reportedly suspended the driver indefinitely and says that the horse will now be retired. Investigators have not publicly confirmed exactly what frightened Samson. The horse had reportedly been working in Central Park for only about 6 weeks. This happened just 8 days after another carriage horse named Denise collapsed and died inside of Central Park after consuming a toxic plant. Now, Romansh's death is intensifying calls for New York City to ban horse-drawn carriage rides altogether. This is just terrible all around.
This is the reason we have Amber Alerts. This was Amber. And what happened to her was horrible. In 1993, when Amber was 9, she was riding her bike around an abandoned grocery store parking lot. A man in a black truck pulled up, picked her up, and forced her into the back of the vehicle as she screamed. Jimmy Kevel, a 78-year-old retired sheriff's deputy, was in his driveway and he saw the entire thing. He then called the cops to explain what happened. Recalling the incident, he said it was a man either white or Hispanic, aged 25 to 40. 4 days later, and 6 miles away, a man was walking his dog near a river and saw a small body laying in it near the drainage ditch. Unfortunately, it was Amber. Her throat had been cut, and she had signs of blunt force trauma throughout her body. The case went cold, but a woman by the name of Diana Simone called into a radio station with an idea. By this time, there were already other emergency alert systems put into place, but none for children. She proposed her idea on the air, and then later wrote a letter asking it to be named after Amber if it ever comes into place. It was developed by Fort Worth Police in 1997 and is now used in all 50 states and multiple other countries. To this day, though, Amber's case has never been solved.
Everything, checking your closet before bed is something you grow out of. That's a mistake. Here's what most people never think about. A closet is only a space in the bedroom with enough space to stand upright, enough darkness to stay invisible, and a door that opens outwards towards you, which means whoever is inside it controls exactly when that door opens, not you. You are on the wrong side of it. First, if you are getting out of bed or getting ready for bed, and your closet door that you always leave open is suddenly closed, do not open it immediately. Most people reach for it without thinking. Instead, turn off your bedroom light and watch the gap at the bottom of the door. If you see the light shift beneath it while you're sitting there, back towards your bedroom door immediately. People who have noticed the same thing later. The light beneath the closet door moved before they touched the handle. Something inside it had already shifted its weight. Second, do not stand directly in front of it when you open it. If the door opens faster than your hand is pulling it, step sideways immediately. People who survive situations like this all realize one thing afterwards. The door did not swing open for momentum. Something on the other side had been leaning against it, waiting for the handle to turn.
Here's the part that scares people later. If you check your closet and find nothing and get inside bed and you hear the closet door click softly in the dark, you did not close it all the way. But you did not leave it open either. Someone inside pulled it shut behind you, and they have been standing in the dark listening to you breathe ever since you turned the light off.
He admitted to beating a Navajo grandmother, leaving her unconscious on the side of the road, and stealing her truck. Now, 5 years later, he's free and she has still never been found. Preston Toth was released from federal prison on June 15, 2026, exactly 5 years after 62-year-old Ella Mae Begay disappeared from the Navajo Nation. At around 2:30 a.m. on June 15, 2021, Ella Mae's daughter saw her mother's silver Ford F-150 leaving their property in Sweetwater, Arizona, which is a remote community on the Navajo Nation. Now, she couldn't see who was driving, but she knew Ella Mae didn't normally leave the home in the middle of the night. Her daughter told police this, but Ella Mae was not officially reported missing until 10:55 that morning, more than 8 hours after the truck was seen leaving. Pretty quickly, investigators learned about Toth, a man connected to Ella Mae's extended family, and they took him in for questioning. Eventually, he admitted to taking the truck while Ella Mae was still inside, repeatedly striking her in the face and leaving her unconscious somewhere beside a road. He also admitted to selling the truck for money and methamphetamine. He also admitted that he could have struck her hard enough to have killed her. But investigators never found Ella Mae, they never recovered her truck, and Toth never led them to the place where he claimed that he left her. But here's the thing, the FBI made a mistake that changed the entire case. A court ruled that investigators violated Toth's right to remain silent while obtaining his confession, so it couldn't be used against him in court. So since they couldn't use his confession and there was little physical evidence remaining, no truck, no body, no blood, no DNA evidence, prosecutors allowed Toth to plead guilty only to robbery. And in that agreement, it also prevents him from ever facing future federal murder or manslaughter charges connected to Ella Mae's disappearance, even if something more is found. To make it even worse for the family, he wasn't expected to get out of prison until 2028, but he unexpectedly got out early, on the 5-year anniversary of her disappearance. He received credit for time already served for a different crime and was released, without the family getting notified. 5 years later, this Navajo family still does not know where Ella Mae is. I cover the complete investigation, the timeline, the confession, and how the case fell apart in the newest episode of Society of Sickos, which is available now wherever you listen to podcasts. Just a fair warning, though, you will be disgusted with how this played out and how Ella Mae has not received justice.
Did you guys hear a Brazilian psychic with 23 million followers claims that aliens will abduct FIFA players in Miami on June 24th? This is her profile. I don't know if those are real followers, but that's what it says on her profile. And it said that she has gotten a lot of things right. Now, don't think psychicness and remote viewing is too crazy, because we know that there's some declassified documents that they may very well have employed psychics and remote viewers in certain intelligence agencies. She is claiming something that would literally completely pretty much destroy her reputation if she's wrong. Like, if you make a prediction based on a date, and we're going to get into what she said, and you're wrong, like, you're not really going anywhere after that. So she claims that a giant UFO mothership will arrive over the stadium during the event. Hundreds of people could be taken, she says. I do think it's crazy. While I was looking up pictures for this, in Arthur, there was a clip, aliens spotted at the Super Bowl. I don't know. I think this is The Simpsons, if the color is correct. Simpsons, aliens landing at some type of game. And there has been a lot of Super Bowl commercials that feature alien-y, UFO, the Greys type thing. Now, isn't it crazy this is happening around the same time that Steven Spielberg's movie, Disclosure Day, just got released? Now, this is either the goofiest prediction you've ever heard, and it's going to go, this is just some way to go viral before it happens, and then afterwards be like, oh, I got the date wrong, it's the next FIFA thing in 2029 or whatever. Or the kind of story that people laugh at right before they are proven wrong. Now, my thoughts are, because I'm not really buying the whole story of aliens in space thing, that there could be a possible divine intervention that then the mainstream blames on aliens, and we'll see if that happens. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more. Now, there's a lot of strangeness happening around the world today. I think we can all wrap our heads around that. And I think that it has never been more important before in human history to be of sound mind and sound body. Detox the crazy chemicals we're exposed to, boost your vibrational frequency, and decalcify your pineal gland. And right now, Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, the chocolate powder, which is super detoxing and delicious, plus it stimulates stem cell production. And if you combine that with the hot water purified shilajit, you're getting some of the most powerful adaptogens in the natural world. Comment the word free below and check your DMs for details.
What?
Nah, you're
I'd like to have equipment, have my charges read.
Oh, okay.
I know I'm going to sport.
Well, that's awesome that you don't want me to do that, but guess what? It's my job. And I get why you don't want me to do it, but tough.
He knew right then it's over, it's done.
Tough
he's cooked.
luck,
He
bro.
needs to run to isolation.
Okay, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for 2 counts of sexual battery on a victim under the age of 12. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire private counsel? Would you like the public defender? PD. I'll point the PD.
Ironic he's going to get a PD because he's a PDF.
Obviously, he's not entitled to bond on these charges, is that right, State?
So to recap, he assaulted a girl under the age of 12. He has no money, so he has to get a public defender. He has no bond, so he's stuck in jail. And now the entire jail knows what he did.
Good luck,
you
bro.
are
Good luck. I mean, hey, whatever happens to him, oops. Look
I,
the other
like
way.
along with many others, just don't understand the fact of why people are still eating gas station food. And why
That's
do I
so
say
bad
that?
for you. You're
Because an
literally eating
individual made a
chemicals.
video blowing the lid off of an AM
Plastic.
PM gas station service center with what they do with expiration dates on their sandwiches. Have a look at this for yourself.
Throw all that away. Garbage. This into the garbage. I know, you wouldn't let your family eat this. On 7 different sounds. Hey, look. Okay. Look. It's no bueno. They take the sticker off, the first sticker, and they put a brand new one on. This it? Yeah, man. Okay, why are you replacing the sticker here?
I'm not replacing the sticker. First of all, basically,
So as you can see from this video right here, exactly what the scam is. It expires, they place a brand new sticker over it. The employee says he didn't do it. He's claiming that in the video you heard him, I didn't take the sticker off. So then who did? It turned out that it was every single item that he pulled off of that shelf ended up in the garbage. And if he didn't do this, you might be walking in there taking a look at the date made this morning. But which morning? Or made this afternoon? What afternoon? And you could have bit into that and got extremely ill. Have one more look and listen to the video for yourself.
Throw all that away. Garbage. This into the garbage. I know, you wouldn't let your family eat this. On 7 different sounds. Hey, look. Okay.
So we don't actually see the guy swapping the sticker.
They take the sticker off.
Let me know your thoughts on this in the
sticker, and they
comments.
put a brand new one on. This it? Yeah.
And as always, I'd love to
Okay,
hear from you.
why are you replacing the stickers here?
I'm not replacing the sticker. First of all, basically, I just put the
Scientist that goes missing. Well, they just found her body. This is crazy. A year ago, one of these scientist ladies that's gone missing goes into work with her husband. It was like, she's like, oh, I forgot something at home. I gotta go get it. They get home. She had like 2 phones, a work phone and a personal phone. Both are on the table. Both are completely erased.
Oh no.
She's caught on camera at certain places with a backpack just walking, getting out of
Why
town.
are they doing this?
And then a blue truck pulls up. She gets in the blue truck. Gone. It's been a year. Well, they just found her body
No.
with a gun right by her. That seems too obvious.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as the news starts talking about these scientists going missing, they're like, oh, well, guess what? We found her.
Was she like decomposed, or was
Yes,
this like, was
it's-
she just recently?
Skeletal remains. It's weird.
Very, very.
Because now you have to trust autopsy, DNA match,
Dental records.
outfit match.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
What do you mean a zombie outbreak? I can't afford groceries right now, and you're telling me that there's a zombie outbreak? So apparently people are claiming that there's a zombie outbreak. One person in Charlotte, North Carolina said that her husband witnessed a zombie running at him in a parking lot. Another person filmed a woman eating a raw deer carcass on the side of the road. And a bunch of other people are saying that they see these people eating like roadkill and stuff. Just raw dogging it, completely raw. And a bunch of people claim that some guy in the UK bit another person and they quarantined the entire area and made all the people in the area stay there for several days. So it started in the UK and now it's in the southern United States. And so many more people are claiming that this is happening around them. They've seen it too. I don't know, y'all, because some of the claims just sound like people on drugs, honestly. While others like eating raw carcasses off the side of the road, that sounds weird. What do you guys think about this? Have you seen anything weird lately?
I did see a video the other day of this girl eating roadkill. Absolutely
The man
crazy.
who ran a PDF empire on the dark web was just a teenager. This is the story of the man who went by the name Lux. Also, warning, this is the sickest and most depraved stuff I've ever researched or posted, and I feel like I'm on a list now. Also, there's barely any pictures that exist of him at all, so I'll be cycling through the same few. This is an extremely condensed version for TikTok. If you guys want the more in-depth video, let me know. Lux was a computer expert who was attracted to adolescents. He would go on the dark web and offer up his anonymity protection services to PDF website owners. This gave him a lot of notoriety in those groups of people, but he did have a problem. He couldn't find videos of extreme pain being inflicted on young victims, so he decided to make websites that would show those type of videos himself. I can't go into detail about what these sites offered, but it's the worst thing imaginable being done to children. By the time the sites were up and running, they had gained massive traffic and the FBI got involved. They shut down the hosting service Lux was using, so he created his own. He also taunted the FBI, saying things like, "Thanks for the publicity," and "F you." He became obsessed with making the websites as big as possible. Lux built an entire Wikipedia-type site made exclusively for child predators, and it was visited over 3 million times. These websites were very restricted to those who found them, and the only way to truly get in was for users to make and upload their own original video. Lux would want proof that they were original videos, so that would often involve victims holding up a piece of paper with the website's name. He also posted a copy of reportedly the worst dark web video ever made by Peter Scully. It involved an 18-month-old child. If you don't know who this is, that would involve a whole nother video. This video was so depraved that even his own users would turn against him, calling it things like too harsh and it's unethical. After this, the FBI received an anonymous tip saying that Lux was located in Melbourne, Australia. By this point, Lux was getting scared, so he sent a message to the cybercrimes tip line saying he was Lux and he will give up all his users for complete immunity and 50,000 in Bitcoin. The FBI did not negotiate. The FBI locked into a single house that was home to a man, a wife, a son, and a daughter. The FBI believed it was the father until they raided and searched the house, only to find out that it was their then 21-year-old son, Matthew Graham. He was given an ultimatum. He could be charged with everything in the United States, or he could admit everything right now and stay in Australia. He decided to do that. During his trial, he tried to justify everything, saying he was a big believer in free speech. His parents sat in the courtroom in shock and disbelief because they had no idea this was going on, especially in their own house. For the case, the judge had to watch that one dark web video, and he came back into the courtroom after looking physically ill. He called Matthew Graham pure evil. What's infuriating is Matthew Graham got a 15-year sentence with the possibility of parole after 10 years, so technically he could be out any day. I couldn't find any public information on updates about him.
That's not enough time.
This high school teacher became so obsessed with the student that he met when she was only 12 years old that he tried to kill her. This is Sam Shelton. I don't know much about Sam's early life, but I do know that he was raised by a single mom who was also a teacher. He decided he wanted to be a teacher like his mom, and he was going to become a gym teacher. And there was one particular 7th grader in Sam's class, a 12-year-old girl named Ashley Reeves. And as far as I know, nothing would happen between them yet. For a few years, it seemed like Sam was going to be a great teacher. Because he was younger for a teacher, a lot of the students thought that Sam was really cool. Like, a lot of the students really liked Sam. Reportedly, Sam was the teacher at high school that a lot of the young girls had crushes on. And I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. It's very normal for kids and teenagers to have crushes on their teachers. That's very normal. What's not normal is for those teachers to reciprocate those feelings. But Sam did. Apparently, he really liked the attention. He really fed into it. He would be very charming, and he would also be very flirty. In February of 2006, Sam is about 26 years old, and he's at a festival when he runs into one of his old middle school students, the now 17-year-old Ashley Reeves. Ashley's at this festival with a group of her friends, and I guess they recognize their old middle school gym teacher, Sam, and they all get to talking. But Sam, the 26-year-old high school teacher, is flirting with this group of high school girls, specifically Ashley. By the end of the conversation, Sam and Ashley made plans to play basketball together sometime soon alone. And very quickly, this 26-year-old high school teacher and this 17-year-old high school student started meeting up all the time to play basketball together alone. And the longer it went on, the more that Sam began to manipulate and groom Ashley. And during this entire time, Ashley already has a long-term boyfriend named Jeremy that she really loves, and she doesn't want to cross this line with Sam into a romantic territory. But Sam is definitely manipulating and coercing Ashley to crossing that inappropriate line. Also, Ashley is not the only teenager that Sam is crossing this line with. Sam already has a different girlfriend who's a teenager at a different high school. He's just a very gross individual. And it wasn't long until 26-year-old Sam was statutory SAing 17-year-old Ashley. Very quickly, Sam became obsessed with Ashley. It was very obsessive. He was very controlling and very possessive. He would call her over and over and over and over again anytime she wouldn't answer the phone or anytime Ashley was with her boyfriend. Ashley tried to break things off with Sam, and Sam immediately flies into a fit of rage and he attacks Ashley. He actually put his hands around her neck and he began to squeeze until her neck broke.
No, Zac Efron. And at first it looked like Zac Efron, but then I was like, no, that's not Zac Efron until it says Zac Efron. There are so many things circulating the internet saying that he looks like this now. This is him in 2021, 2025. Again, 2017, 2025. It's a lip injections for me. 2017, 2025. This doesn't even look like Zac Efron. Like the eyebrows.
Ew.
No. The lip injections, the mustache, okay, maybe the jaw. But what? Like, this has to be AI for sure, but it's definitely circulating the internet. This is circulating the internet. The most accurate photos that we've seen of him are him looking like this, and it doesn't look like the High School Musical Zac Efron that we're used to, but it still looks like him. Like, it looks enough like him. There's other pictures of him, and again, I'm like, this is not Zac Efron, but then it says Zac Efron here. And I mean, really, like, how accurate is this? And this in comparison to this? To me, it's just insane, like, the differences in people putting the dates, like, time-stamping it. Because although really bad plastic surgery could do this isn't him. There's just no way that's him. And just looking at it one more time, it's just not Zac Efron. See that video where those people were sailing over where the Titanic sank? And in the video, they captured all kinds of strange noises of what sounds like people screaming and stuff. This is gonna give you such bad goosebumps. Listen. So in the first one, you can actually hear people screaming, help, and hey. Like, a lot of people. This is the second time they sailed over it. This is the second time they heard it, so they recorded it. Listen. They caught a violin playing. That is so creepy. And it just keeps happening. They described it as it was like blowing in the wind. Like it would come and go. Now, I have heard before that water is like a record, that it will record things. It keeps a memory of things. So maybe this is some sort of residual type of haunting over top of this super tragic accident.
Everything spooky is hidden behind a triangle. Welcome back to another episode of the Spooky Triangle series, where we hyperfixate on geographical areas that have strange disappearances but also just so happen to be shaped like a triangle. Everyone talks about the Bermuda Triangle, but no one talks about the Alaskan Triangle, where 16,000 people have just vanished into thin air. No one talks about the Lake Michigan Triangle or the Dragon Triangle. Today we're going to be talking about the Bennington Triangle, because if you thought it was just the water that's creepy, it's also on land. Let's get into it. We are going to be going all the way back to 1945 with the disappearance of Mitty Rivers. TikTok, this is for educational purposes only. Please Do not tussle with me. Mitty Rivers was an expert hunter. I'm talking about he knew the woods better than most of the locals. One day he was guiding a hunting party. He walked slightly, I'm talking about ever so slightly, ahead of the group and disappeared into thin air. Because of the strange nature of the disappearance, they set out so many search parties, and these search parties were massive. No one found anything but a handkerchief with his DNA on it. To this day, they have no idea what happened. I completely forgot to mention where this is even at. Sorry, guys. This is in a region of southwestern Vermont. Now, this next one literally helped shape the Vermont police. In 1946, an 18-year-old college student named Paula Weldon was walking up the long trail wearing a bright red coat. She walked up the bend and there was multiple witnesses saying that they saw her, and then she was never seen again. Again, massive search parties. They brought out the dogs. Literally, the disappearance was so strange and so earth-shattering, heartbreaking to the community that it helped shape the police. They cracked down and banded together to make a whole police department because of the disappearance of Paula Weldon. Now, this one is so heartbreaking. I mean, they're all heartbreaking, but this one tugged my soul. In 1950, Paul Buddy Jepson, an 8-year-old little boy, was left in a truck while his mother was working nearby. Anyway, I try not to judge because you never know what people have to go through to work, but really, he ends up vanishing and the bloodhounds track his scent to a nearby road. Now, I'm sure that you can put two and two together on what probably happened to Buddy. The question here is, with the Bennington Triangle, is it more of a supernatural vibe, like with the Dragon Triangle and the Alaskan Triangle, or is there something lurking in the wood just waiting for its next victim? I don't know, serial unaliver maybe? As always, guys, make sure you like and follow, comment down below if you guys want another part to this series.
Do you believe that the ocean can speak to us? And why do I say that? Because a group of people that went sailing very close to where the Titanic sank recorded a video and claimed that they heard some really strange noises coming from the ocean. Have a listen to this video for yourself and let me know what you hear. Listen. So you've seen the video for yourself and heard some of the things in that video. These people allege that they heard screaming, violins, and all types of different noises coming from the ocean. And as you know, the Titanic sank back in 1912. And it's not the first video that has come across social media where people have claimed to hear weird and mysterious noises coming out of the location where the Titanic sank. And for this group right here, it's their second time putting videos out with similar sounds. Have one more listen to the video, and then jump in the comments and let me know what you hear. Is it birds, waves, the wind, or something else? Listen. Let me know your thoughts as to what you think that is. Waves, birds, the boat, the wind. Hit me up in the comments, and as always, I need to hear from you.
in North Carolina said that his grandmother used to practice witchcraft. He said she would talk about all the time how he should join their coven. So Nana passed away, and she had a bunch of VHSs, and one was labeled 1999 Coven Introduction, and it was this video right here. A group of people in white robes are surrounding a woman who floats up into the air. Now, obviously, this freaked this man out. Because what he thought was just some crazy ramblings of an older lady were actually true. And she was a part of something a lot bigger than he realized. He said a lot of the stuff that she had too, she would have dead animals in jars, bones everywhere. She would keep squirrels and stuff in her refrigerator.
That's weird.
And try to make him eat them raw. So he obviously was traumatized by her in the first place. And then he finds this. I don't know what I would do. Because what he thought was a crazy old lady was on to something, and it makes you wonder what she was trying to do to him. What do y'all think about this?
Why did y'all not tell me that there's something else to hyperfixate on at 12 a.m.? Guys, I saw this video and it was like, someone is lost down here, by the way. I'm like, where is this? And then they're like, oh, I'm talking like the video was speaking to me. But the video said it was the Amazon rainforest. And I'm like, oh my gosh, deep dive alert. The things I have freaking found, oh my gosh. In 1925, this guy, Percy Fawcett, was a British explorer that was obsessed with finding a lost civilization. He was convinced that Z was out there and he was going to find it. He decides to take his son and his son's friend deep into the Brazilian Amazon, and they completely vanish. No bodies were ever found. Mind you, they sent out hundreds and hundreds of search parties. No bodies. Here's the thing. Different indigenous tribes kept giving like different types of stories. Same indigenous tribes were terrified of the area that he and his son's friend disappeared near the Xingu River. A lot of people say that, mind you, in the Amazon, there are actually tribes that have been completely untouched by today's civilization. So they're still living off the land, things like that. Kind of like how you hear about the Pharaoh people in Appalachian Mountains, things like that. Now, they could very well just be chill people like peace and love. Or there's lore that Percy, that was his name, right? Why am I mind blank? But Percy and his son's friend were taken by one of those tribes over there. But low key, like when people say that, I'm like, what if they're just tribes out there just chilling and people are demonizing them and calling them like savages and stuff? That sounds oddly familiar. So I don't know if I want to subscribe to that. I'm gonna just say something got him, like a giant snake or something. Shoot, there is so much lore behind this place. Apparently El Dorado is there. Like, you know, El Dorado, like that movie, like there's like lost civilizations that people like get absolutely obsessed with, kind of like Percy Fawcett. In the 1900s, there was like a bunch of groups of missionaries and travelers that got lost in the green hell. I'm talking about dozens and dozens of people. Boop, gone. No one knows where they are. But the thing is, there's so many different kinds of like animals and stuff in the rainforest that they genuinely could have just been taken by the elements or something more sinister. I mean, let me pull the picture up again. Guys, like, what is in there? We've been talking about the ocean. What's in the rainforest? Something ain't right, y'all. Something ain't right. Anyways, y'all, make sure you like and follow. Comment down below if you want a part 2, or if you guys want me to just keep deep diving into the ocean. Let me know. Your wish is my command.
It's official. There is no state in the U.S. that you can live and afford a 2-bedroom apartment if you're making minimum wage. Thanks to minimum wage no longer covering rent anywhere in America. And we're not talking about anything fancy. For your absolutely basic 2-bedroom apartment, you now have to make an average of $32 to $35 an hour just to cover the costs of rent. Wait, I thought there were certain states in America that you could live fairly affordable. Once upon a time that was true, but now even the 10 most affordable states in the U.S. average price for a house over $200,000. Hoping to have a life? Not in the U.S. Minimum wage employee would now have to work over 100 hours per week just to afford a modest 2-bedroom apartment, and that's if the rent is fair. The average rent cost being $1,800 a month. Breaking down those numbers to mean that you need to earn an average of $34.60 an hour. Most minimum wage employees would need to make 5 times their current salary just to afford to have a place to live.
Hold on a second. Aliens might actually be demons. Watch this.
Let's see them.
Years ago, we interviewed this man named Bill from rural Florida. He had the stereotypical experience where it starts out late at night, in bed, but prior to that evening, he had seen some lights outside of his living room window.
My dogs were barking very, very loudly in the back, and I'd get up and I'd go over and I'd open up the window, which was next to the bed, and I would tell them to be quiet, and they'd quiet down. I'd go lay down in bed again. They'd start barking again. I did the same thing. I did that several times. I remember the last time that I did it, I went and I lay down, and it was almost instantly I became paralyzed. I could not move. I could not see anything but gray. And all of a sudden it felt like that something or someone had put some pole right up my rectum and was holding me on that pole. And and the entity or whatever it was that was doing this to me was laughing like it was pleasurable, or they were laughing at me, and I was so afraid. I didn't know what to do. And I can't remember whether I said, Jesus, 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 or Jesus help me, Jesus help me. But at that instant, my experience stopped. And I distinctly heard these entities squeal and
We are in the end times. Do not be deceived. Aliens are demons. This guy literally just said the aliens stopped abducting him when he called on Jesus. Jesus is coming back very soon.
This guy vlogged his kills, and it's one of the most shocking things you will ever see.
Alright, so how do you feel, Kayleen?
Vlogged his kills.
We haven't done the part that I'm not looking forward to.
My husband's great. He really is. He's very respectful to me. I mean, he spoils me. He takes care of me.
I'm getting pretty close to that time. This is what I gotta do. I don't even question it anymore. At this point, I don't know what's gonna happen. I may get caught right away. I mean, I could basically be dead in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I don't know. It's all up to chance at this point.
Oh, hey guys.
Nice, look at all that smoke. Oh my gosh.
Though his family didn't yet know it, something was off with Peter Keller. What follows is found footage that just might be some of the most disturbing recordings ever filmed. Documented like a YouTube video, the video diary.
I usually come up with between a 30 and 40 pound pack. Every time I bring a load of something up, actually starting to get a lot up here. Try to make it as easy as I can during the transition time. So far I've got a bed, blow-up bed, mattress, with blankets and pillows and clothes and stuff to keep me comfortable. So we'll see how long I last doing this. I don't know.
Just what exactly Peter was doing in North Bend, Washington isn't yet clear.
Kayleen Keller.
Alright, so how do you feel, Kayleen?
No more high school, yay!
Kayleen graduated high school just a few months after her father started recording his video diaries. While Peter worked to refurbish computers, Lynette struggled with medical issues, and as a result, wasn't able to work full-time. But side perspective, it appeared that although the family faced challenges...
Now, there's a lot of footage that I actually cannot show from this because it just gets so bad, but that gives you a bit of an insight. But this guy, Peter Keller, went on to do 100 times worse than you could ever imagine. He basically killed his whole family, his wife, and his daughter that was shown in that video. He put this all on his vlogging camera and kept it as tapes, almost like the film Creep. Like, this is insane. Now, luckily, police managed to track down this little underground bunker that he was building, you could see in the video, in the woods, and they pumped tear gas inside of it, basically knocking this guy out and getting rid of him. But it is one of the most insane things you can ever see. Like, to see these videos just before he did what he did to his family is mental.
of the scariest cold cases was just solved and no one is talking about it. In 1991, Bob Warner went to go visit his wife Cindy at a house she was cleaning, and he walked in to find this scene. Their infant daughter was sitting in her high chair, there was cereal spilled all over the table, but Cindy was nowhere to be found. This is coming from a deep dive I just did on the Heart Starts Pounding podcast on 2 big cold cases that were just solved, but initially everyone thought Cindy had just run away. That is until her body was found. 3 weeks later, a quail hunter found Cindy's body 30 miles away from where she was last seen. She was nude except for a bra, and she had been strangled to death. But when the coroner took a look at her, they noticed something terrifying about her body. And that is that even though she was found 3 weeks later, she had only been dead for 1 week. She had been kept alive somewhere for 2 weeks. Now, near her body, there was a plastic bag found, and inside there was beer cans as well as adult nudity magazines. DNA was taken from that beer can, but there was never any matches to it until recently, when the DNA was confirmed to be from James Lawhead Jr. Now, James was a serial sex offender who never served full sentences for his crimes. He assaulted an 11-year-old girl and attempted to kill her 70-year-old grandmother, but didn't succeed, and he only served a fraction of the amount of time he was supposed to serve for that crime. And after he was released, Cindy went missing within that same year. Same area where Cindy was found, around the same time, there were other women's bodies being found who appeared to have been kept alive for a long period of time before they were. And so now police are desperately trying to find if any of those crimes matched James. I do a full deep dive on that case as well as other cold cases that were just recently solved in this episode of the Heart Starts Pounding podcast. It's really interesting. We get into the DNA technology and all of that helps solve these cases, so I definitely recommend you check it out.